And hello, hello, hello. We are back once again here transmitting from the year 3000 with another episode of Here on the Wastes, where we play Horizons Unknown After Earth RPG. My name is Scott, Mr. Shogi 3000. I am the writer and creator of Horizons Unknown, this original game here, and this is Season 4's season finale, where we do have our wonderful cast here once again. Episode number 46, gentlemen. Thank you so much for just another amazing season here. We're going to make tons of memories here in regards to the season finale, I hope. That will lead into season 5 in the next month and a half or so. But as always, let's start it off by saying our introductions here to our wonderful cast here, always starting with the OG, Mr. Ryan, aka Ran118. How are you doing this evening, good sir?
I'm doing great. Been another great season with great casts.
Absolutely. We're having a good time here. Of course, my good friend Mike, who is muted. There you go. Who is playing our amazing Voldo. How are you doing this evening, Mike? Still muted. He's
There we go.
You go.
All right.
I think he's
doing good. Dude. I just want to say thank you for doing this, all the time. It's been super fun for me.
My
I know
pleasure.
The other guys are watching it, so thank you.
Thank you very much, Mike. That's very kind of you. I'm so glad that you're part of this cast here. Of course, my other very good friend here as well, Gideon himself, Mr. Richard Keith. How are you this evening, good sir?
I'm doing good. Excited for the finale.
Finale, Richard. Richard got through his
Big
first
battle.
season. We will expect much more from Gideon next season. Won't we, Gideon? Well done. And of course, as always, bringing up the rear here, my brother from another mother, playing the good doctor, your favorite character, it seems, next to Rev. Good old Shane O'Mac. How you doing, brother?
Yeah, I don't know about that. Howdy, Scotty. Great season.
Absolutely.
Pretty jazzed about this last episode.
We're gonna see what's gonna happen, gentlemen. We're gonna see what happens at a very pivotal moment for our characters here and their journey. They have gone through much this season. They have made treacherous journeys in order to get to the places that they currently are at. And with that, I want to thank everyone who's been awesome in the chat, been watching the streams, been watching the YouTube videos. Extremely thankful. We have wonderful Kira. We have the wonderful Philly here this evening. Thank you so much for being here.
Kira, Canada.
Kira, Canada. Philly, Canada. We're going to jump into episode number 46, the season finale here. This one is called The Call of the East or The Call of the Fire. As we last left our group, they had just been in a fight with 2 rockworms, ended up being in a fight with Walter, with Therese, with Sarai, and lastly with Miko, who they didn't really fight. Miko just kind of showed up, blasted poor Gideon, who's never met Miko ever before, and kind of went on her way. After this fight, gentlemen, you guys are probably extremely worn down, emotional, especially for Rev right now. He's gone through a lot. You were led back into the protective confines of Brimlow. With that, a small little celebration from the town to you each gentleman has been given, as well as a very large feast due to your conquests over the rockworms themselves. As you were all having the feast, just kind of settling down, again, Danny tending to Voldo's wounds, doing her best to be the loving wife that she has now found herself to be. The good doctor merely sitting and enjoying a moment's rest. Gideon as well, merely sitting, enjoying a moment's wet rest. Sinjin sitting next to Jaina, doing their best to just be normal, if even for just a moment. Even though none of you exactly know what tomorrow is going to bring. Alistair had brought Voldo up to his study to show
Rev up
him.
to study.
I'm sorry, Rev. That's correct. Rev, to show him that he as well is the bearer of a grimoire. As you sit in his study, there, Rev, he merely manifests out of the ether, as you've seen many have done before, those who seem to have been touched by the starfire themselves. He shows you that he has a silver, almost grayish, leather-bound grimoire that has gold buckles and clasps on it. He merely looks at you and kind of like just tries to get a sense of whatever facial expression you're given when you show this, when you're actually you're shown this. This is the second grimoire that you've actually ever seen. You are not aware that there might be other grimoires out there, and you're unsure of exactly the power in which this grimoire possesses. Alistair merely looks at you, and he just goes, "Any questions?"
Well, as soon as this appears and Rev recognizes it for what he has always assumed are only very evil, destructive objects, he actually kind of gets up out of his chair and backs away from it. Almost, I don't want to say in fear, but in trepidation of it corrupting him in some way because of all that he's seen the grimoires do. And Rev just says, "What is that?"
And he looks at you, and he just goes, "It's a grimoire. One of 4. As far as my research has led me to believe."
There are 4 of these things on Saldaria.
Again, as far as my research has led me to believe, that is true.
The last one of these I saw completely corrupted the man that I knew. Does this one have a similar influence on you?
He merely looks at you, takes the grimoire, and merely places it on kind of a side table that's next to him. He grabs a pipe, lights it up, takes a smoke, kind of leans back, and he merely kind of motions for you. "It's okay. Sit back down. I will tell you a story."
Rev, very surreptitiously and making sure he keeps space between him and the grimoire, sits down.
And he just goes, "Not all grimoires are evil. Some have melded and tailored itself to its owner and what lies beneath within their souls. A story that has been told is that the 4 grimoires used to be that of the 4 great beacons of Amsharai, one for each of them. My grimoire here is known as the grimoire of seeing and reflections. As I told you before, I was not granted with the gift of seeing. The other grimoires that are out there are known as the grimoire of eternal shadows. This one, I do believe, is the one that you speak of. Has the ability to corrupt, but also to create great power. There's another one called the grimoire of reckless spirits. Not much is known of that, nor who even has it at this time. And the last one was the one that was known to have bound them all together. But not much is known of that. It has been lost in the annals of history. Not even sure if it's even true anymore, or if it's still there, or if it's a myth at this point, a legend. But this one was given to me as if in a dream, in my days at Fenrinhold, merely as a bishop, as if it chose me to be its bearer. The book has spoken to me, and I have been its bearer ever since. I merely use it to see, sometimes into the past, to see into the hearts of those in the present, and if my starfire holds true, sometimes the ability to see into the future. But in all things, young Rev, it is just a book, and we only give it power if we mean to.
Who are these beacons of Am-Sharai?
They have been lost for quite some time.
Were they gods? Were they titans? Do we know anything about them?
They were the four who created Am-Sharai themselves. Those who came from the place once called Earth. Those who were
Really?
set to
Were they
rule.
robots? Were they robots or were they humans?
Voldo, you were not in the room.
Oh, never mind, sir. Taking this down.
But you can definitely take it down.
Yeah, okay.
Hey, Renus is here as well.
Would the doctor know of these beacons? You've seen his past.
I have a feeling that the doctor has, at maybe one time, have known who these people are. But I also feel that when I looked into the doctor, that he also blocks this out as well. I'm not sure if he means to forget that past, but maybe in time he might be able to reveal it once again.
You said these beacons were from Earth. Are they? You say they're lost. Or does that mean they still live somewhere?
They are long gone, young Rev. Lost in the great battle, their line is now vanished. It is ended. Their names,
What?
though, are what I speak of. They're lost to their own people. They have no recollection, these humans anymore, of where they have come from and those who came before.
Well, this grimoire of shadows, I believe a very dangerous woman named Miko is in possession of it. Is there any way to fight this, to remove it from somebody who has accepted this power? Because the last person I knew lost control.
You might need to speak to a Saldarian shaman, for they understand the power of the grimoires, for they are the ones who created them as gifts to the four.
Saldarians created the grimoires?
Saldarians are the ones who are truly blessed by Starfire. Forgive me, but humans, not so much. That's including even myself.
Oh, I don't doubt that. We humans have a lot of issues, that's for sure. Where can we find a Saldarian shaman? You mentioned the east before. Is that where we would need to go?
Oh, if I were to find a Saldarian shaman, I would look to God's finger in the east, in Veya, upon the highest peak that stands in the middle of a wide valley.
Would Danny be able to help us find this place?
Let me tell you this, Rev. Danny made her journey with her father when she was a child. She has not yet even stepped foot back into Veya. but she understands the language. She understands the people, the culture, and the traditions. She's not much of a tracker. That falls upon you. Follow the
Well,
path.
I feel like I could probably train her to fight, at least basic.
Again, Voldo, you're not in the room.
I'm thinking out loud and you're hearing
Fair enough.
it's my psychic nature.
Voldo in another room is just going, Rev, you can hear me. You can hear me. I know you can. We had that moment on a raft. Follow the path, Rev. That's all I can tell you. If you choose to go to Vea, the only other option for you is if you choose to go to Cindervale. But the path
I don't think
is led by whatever decision that you and your adventurers make.
this continent is safe anymore, but you're right. We must discuss this together.
Speaking of that, I could use a drink. Shall we go back to the festivities and the feast?
You go ahead. I'm going to sit and think for a moment. I'll be with you shortly.
Understood. You can sit in that chair for as long as you like. But I will take this. And he takes the grimoire, and it just goes back into the ether itself.
Okay.
As gentlemen, Rev sits and he merely contemplates and mulls over some things. The good doctor, Voldo, Gideon, Sinjin, and the such are all sitting at the feast. This is a time, gentlemen and ladies, for you all to just kind of rest and relax. People are coming up, bringing you different kinds of food and different kinds of drink. And specifically, a woman walks up directly to the doctor and puts down a jug of probably one like the finest ales. And she looks at you and she just goes, "Oh my God, it's you. You enjoying that Jotun juice you stole from me?"
Oh, hello, Cam, was it?
Mrs. to you now.
I caught a pretty good rash of crap for doing that. I got slapped by a friend.
As you should.
I agree. In hindsight, I must say I got to plead ignorance, and I'm extremely sorry that I was trying to haggle to the point where I pretty much got those for nothing. But I truly didn't know the value. I did not, and I'm so sorry. How can I make it up to you, Cam?
I'm not sure you can.
Understood.
You disgraced Matilda.
I don't know how. Well, okay, I understand. Well, where is Matilda anyway?
She's dead.
She's what?
She's dead.
Oh,
Pretty sure she told you that last time, but you know.
yeah, that's right. Oh God. Cam, I gotta tell you, it's been a rough year.
Is Mike asleep?
No.
Yeah, you did. You passed out, dude. sorry I'm boring you, dude. Okay, go ahead.
No. I keep tracing other things in other ways and losing.
Cam, please, just let me know. I mean, do you need money? Can I give you, I don't know,
I need
a check?
satisfaction.
Understood. How are you going to get that?
Tonight.
What are we talking here?
Money.
Okay.
Seduction.
Okay. Can I choose money or seduction?
Feel free.
What's that?
Feel free to choose.
I will offer you money for sure.
I prefer seduction.
Cam, I got to tell you, that's not what I had in mind. I am still so just there's someone else. There's someone else, and they would not appreciate.
Oh, someone. Matilda! I knew it! That bitch. You have fallen in love with her, haven't you?
Remember, she's dead, Cam. You told me yourself not 2 minutes ago.
She's only
Remember?
26. There's no way
I
she
know,
could be
dude.
dead.
I remember how old she is, and I remember how old she got every couple seconds that we spoke. I tell you what. I will give you 200 checks.
Ooh.
I know it's not what the jolting juice is worth, but maybe it'll put a dent in what I did.
I accept.
But I cannot deal with any seduction. I'm so sorry.
Are you sure?
I am positive.
100
And trust
checks.
me, there's nothing going on between Matilda and I.
100 checks and a little seduction? Just a little.
How about
She
250?
starts to like stroke the side of your cybernetic face. She's like, so smooth.
How about 250 and we can dance? Would you like to dance with me, Cam?
She merely just goes, I haven't cut a jig in quite some time.
Well, trust me, either have I.
50 checks, a dance, and a little seduction. Just a little. Not a lot. Hands in inappropriate places. That's it.
I'm not trying to lead you on by any means.
I'm led on.
I was gonna say you already gave her 50.
250 checks, and I'd be happy to give you a dance.
Oh,
and a dance.
Dude, you're leading out really hard right now.
I do know somebody who may want to tango in another way.
Oh, do tell.
He's quite the
yes,
the gentleman.
Okay, yes.
And
get to the point.
Well,
yes.
have you heard the name Gideon?
Oh, who is this Gideon? Is he handsome?
He is dashing.
On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being Alistair, 1 being a rockworm, how would you rate this Gideon?
I'd have to say, first of all, too, I noticed the fine ale that you're drinking.
Yes.
Gideon thoroughly enjoys.
Oh, yes.
A little bit of ale.
Okay.
And I would say he's a solid 7.5.
Oh, my husband was only like a 4.
Oh, hey, most of us, that's all we have coming. I hate to tell you, but sad reality, Cam. Sorry to hear that.
She merely looks at you, and she just goes, "You have a deal."
All right.
Lead me to this Gideon.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna I'm gonna do 200 and see if she notices.
Oh, she notices.
Some shit.
She goes, I think you're short here.
Oh, really?
Scoundrel!
Oh no,
Swindler!
I'm sorry.
She starts
Hey.
to scream again. And really, everybody in the whole feast merely stops and starts to look as she's like pointing directly at
No.
doctor.
It was a simple mistake. I get a little crazy. My fingers. I promise. I was trying to do 250. It was 250, right?
250.
I only did 200. Here. Boom, boom, boom. There you go. 250. And please.
False,
I've had bad.
false alarm.
Your count already up. Everyone, please. We're okay now. Look,
Go
and I
back
just
on
want to kind of like give her one of
drinking
those
and having
half hugs.
and festivities. Oh, well done. Hug as well. Where is this Gideon?
Let's go find him. Please.
Yeah,
He'll be
where's
ecstatic.
Gideon's sitting right next to you, Valdo. He's like just sitting there. He's just kind of like eating something and drinking.
I guess I'm not even sure where I am right now.
You're just at a
I went
table.
off on a tangent so hard that it just completely I missed so much of it. So I'm locked at a table.
You're just at a table with Danny sitting next to you.
Okay. She's giving me a massage, I'm hoping.
Yeah,
I'm giving her one.
She's giving you a massage. She's feeding you.
Me down, feeding me. I'm giving her a leg massage or something.
Yeah.
We're keeping it cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Gideon's right next to you though, and he's just kind of like sitting there by himself.
He's taking notes. Okay.
I'm not sure he's taking notes of your lovey-dovey situation, but he's definitely just sitting there.
I'm gonna tell Cam, shall we? And I'm just gonna have her like take my arm, and I'm gonna walk over to where I think they are.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna take her the pint and just carry it for her.
Okay.
Or whatever it is.
Gideon, you're merely sitting there, and you notice that Boldo and Danny are having kind of a little boyfriend girlfriend time. That Sinjin and Jaina are just kind of sitting there by themselves, and they're talking, and they seem to be having a nice time. Everybody seems to be quite friendly and festive, and you see from across that the good doctor is hanging out with Cam again, and every now and then, like, you can roll. You know what? Just roll some awareness if you could, Doctor. I'm not Doctor. Sarge.
I got a 9.
Okay, you're just oblivious. You're oblivious to everything as usual, and you're just enjoying your food and you're enjoying your drink, and you're just kind of going on your way and doing your thing. As that happens, though, the good doctor gets up with Cam, and he starts to walk your way. You lock eyes with the good doctor who's sitting next to Cam, and do you say anything as they kind of walk? Yeah, he starts to point at Cam for you.
Like I kind of like get up, like I'm like really sore from my interdimensional smashing.
Sure.
From last session. But I'm like, I say, "Hi, Doc. How's it going?"
Sarge, my boy, never better. Listen, I want you to meet a very dear friend of mine. Okay, we've been through some stuff together. Not only is she one of the biggest and best bargainers I've ever known, she also really loves the good ale, Sarge. And she happens to have some. She wanted to give this to you. Her name is Cam. And I thought that you two would hit it off just fine. Maybe you'd like somebody to talk to. Oh, also, I'm going to bust out a jolting juice to kind of give him a little bit of a pep.
Okay.
If he doesn't, hey, take this on me, Sarge. I know you're not feeling so well.
Spike his ale with the jolting juice.
Yeah. It's a great idea.
He's spiking his ale with the jolting juice. Nice. That extra
Yeah,
little
okay.
pep.
Sleight of hand. I kind of just like boom, 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 like pour it in or whatever. Here, man, take this. This is awesome. This is great stuff. She swears by it. It'll make you feel better, Sarge. You look a little. And anyway, yeah. I'll be right there. And I'm just gonna walk away.
You're gonna pull the old okay. With that, Cam looks at you and she's got a twinkle in her eye towards you, Gideon, and she's like, I was told that you might be down for a little seduction.
I have to know, how much ale can you drink?
She goes, I can drink a lot.
You can match me.
She just goes, if I can match you, then seduction it is.
I might have a hard time resisting at that point. Especially after all I've been through.
Yeah. Okay, so now it's flirting, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
now it's like straight flirting. With that,
Yeah.
with that, she like sits down. She just goes, "Bring the ale." And before you know it, the old Sarge and Cam are going drink for drink. I would like you to roll well-being, Gideon, as you chug down the first one. She chugs it down with the same intensity and ferocity as you.
Oh, I got one.
All of a sudden, you hit that last sip and you just fall back in your chair and splat down to the ground, completely passed out.
Apparently, jolting juice and ale don't do well for Sarge.
He is
Rock star,
snoring
right?
so loudly as he is just completely plastered on the ground. Immediately, Cam gets up, just goes, turns and looks for the doctor, and she just goes, Swindler! Swindler me again!
It's a rather lame way to get rid of the bad guy.
How could
Oh
you?
my god.
How could you do this to me? You promised for Matilda. Everyone again puts down their jugs and they take one look at you, and they're just like giving you the oh, how could you, man? How could you? Immediately, everyone kind of like looks to Voldo, and they're just going, Voldo, protector of Brimlow, save us once more from the swindle bot.
Although I got this, don't even. Just please. If I'm in earshot of this, I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna be like, "Hey, no, it's okay." I'm gonna go over to Sarge. I'm gonna be like, "Sarge, come on, man, you're screwing me up here. What the hell? I'm gonna just kind of, I'm gonna try and like maybe force feed him a little more jolting juice.
As he's
Be
kind
like,
of
come
passed
on,
out.
man,
Sure.
Sarge, come back.
Yeah,
It's okay, Cam. He's fine. This happens all the time.
Him.
This happens all the time. He'll be right as rain in minutes.
Okay.
I promise.
Cool. All right. So as you kind of do that, we're going to take a quick break here. Hold on 1 second, everybody. I need to make some adjustments here, and I'll be right back. Okay, and we're back here. So with that, as you see, unfortunately, guys, we don't have Mike. Mike's not feeling well, so I'm just gonna carry on as Voldo. So we're just gonna run this through. So they start to like look at you again, and you can kind of hear the fact that the crowd is kind of getting a little nasty again with you, Doctor. Not exactly sure. You just feel like you just can't win with this group here. You just can't win with them. But as you're force feeding this concoction now back into old Gideon. Gideon, I would like you to roll well-being.
Oh,
Please not a 1 again.
20.
20. You
Oh.
immediately just pop straight back up right into the doctor's arms. You're just like just life has just been shoved right back into you.
Oh, my
There was, like,
man.
Yeah, like
Hey, the Sarge, everybody.
they're just like, oh, is he okay?
Oh, Sarge.
Sorry, you're just like
Cam,
bright-eye, bushy
Cam.
tail now.
Cam, Sarge, he does this all the time. Really, come on, hey. Please pull it in. It's Sarge. Come on, Sarge, man. Let's keep it together here. You need something to eat? Are you hungry, buddy? I'll be my wingman, Sarge. All right, hey, she's right there. Let's hey. I'm gonna like wipe his to the little, make sure his face is looking good. You know, check his, you know. I'm gonna lick my thumb and like get the little smudges. Be like, Sarge, come on, buddy. She's right there. She's cool. She's good. She's got ale, Sarge. I know you're ready for round 2. If I've seen your 5th wind. I've seen your 6th wind, Sarge. You're only at wind 2. You're only at wind 2. I know you. So you got a couple winds to go, and hey, the wind's blowing, brother, right there. Remember, her name's Cam. Her name is Cam, and she's got a sister, but I don't know if she's alive. I don't know if she's dead. She could be 22. She could be 26. Just go with it, brother. And don't say that you like Matilda, okay? If you hear anything about Matilda, just say, well, okay, sounds like a great girl, and move on. I don't know. Cam, my man, he's ready. He was, we've had a long day.
She walks,
Come on.
She walks back over, and she just goes, "Oh, he looks like he's ready for a little second round."
Oh yes. This man, he doesn't even know what rounds are. They all just go into one big round, Cam.
With that,
And I know that he'd probably be interested in seeing your shop at some point, right, Sarge?
Sarge,
checking out the old shop.
You're hearing this, and I'd like you to roll intellect if you could, please.
Oh.
Now you're pulsating with energy right now.
Yeah, I got a 17.
17. You get the sense that he's feeding you some lines, man. He is feeding you some lines. Okay? But you feel like $1 million right now. Like he just gave you like the Viagra of drinks. Like you're just charged, roaring and ready to go. And right now, I'd like you to roll. Just give me a fate roll, just a D20 if you could, Sarge.
Good. I got a 9.
Yes. You still can't see the past the beer goggles a little bit, and she's looking quite wonderful to you. She looks like she's a nice 30, even though she's about 70, and you just feel like, wow, like where did this hot woman come from? I've been here for forever and I haven't seen this girl. and she's kind of like looking at you, and she extends her like shaking hand. She goes, "Would you like to dance?"
Like Sarge, like he sees like it's a little bit blurry, but like he's already really intimidated by Cam.
He's already intimidated by
Never
Cam.
been out drunken by like any woman. Like he's it's like he reaches out and he's like, "I would be glad to take this down, my dear." He doesn't even know where that came from. It's just
I can tell
That's
you.
right,
Oh,
Sarge.
he's like
That's
overwhelmed by Cam.
Cam hears your words and immediately like swoons now over you. She's like, "Oh, what a gentleman! If you're
You have
lucky."
no idea.
And she looks at the doctor and she just goes, "He's a keeper."
Yes, he is. Yes, he definitely is.
She kind of snuggles up next to you and she kind of puts her arm inside your own arm as you kind of lead her to the middle of this nice bar. There's a few people dancing, but she allows you to take her into your arms. And what kind of dance does the good Sarge dance on a very nice romantic evening as this one?
He kind of goes into like a waltz, like a military, like because like this whole like he's known like conflict all his life, and
Sure.
like he's like he remembers it's kind of like a waltz, like a it's got the military thing.
In your mind, you're thinking yourself like, "This is the last dance with my sweetheart as the soldier goes off to war."
Oh yeah,
You have this dance because you never got to have it with your own sweetheart. It reminds you of a time when you were younger, and it reminds her of time when she was younger as well. And you danced until you could dance no more. Rev, during this time, what would you like to be doing?
Well, I have been reflecting in this study, thinking about what he and his small band of friends could hope to accomplish against the likes of Miko and Walter and the Bandit King. And Rev has come to a realization that for the first time, he and his people are not enough. So he wants to slowly get up, feeling almost a sense of freedom to say, I don't have to win a war myself. And he's going to go join the party a little bit lightened, but also kind of unsure of what they should do in the future, but kind of happy to be unsure because now he can get help from other people instead of having to rely on himself for everything.
Sure.
If that makes sense.
As you make your way back towards the place of festivities, which essentially is just the large bar itself, you immediately walk in and you see in the corner now is the good doctor who seems now relaxed, taking down a drink with his feet kicked up onto the table, and he's staring across the floor. Voldo and Danny are merely sitting, hugging. She's feeding him, taking care of him. Voldo feels at peace enough that he actually passes out asleep in the middle on the table, allowing Danny to just do her best to just take care of her lover. On the floor in the dance, you see the good Sarge in the arms of a very old lady who is now taking control of the dance floor, and she's cutting a jig. She's the one who's moving around the Sarge with still an air of grace that the old woman still has in her, and enough that it blows you away that even the old Sarge, pretty good dancer.
Got some moves.
He's got a pretty good dancer. In the back is just Jaina sitting with Sinjin, and they're merely sitting and talking and laughing with some of the other people around. It seems to be a
Okay.
very joyous room. It seems to be very calm and fun environment. Something that has eluded you for quite some time. And sitting right next to the bar, again smoking his pipe, is Alistair. Is a It's like a good father as he overlooks everyone in the room with a smile on his face, watching everybody have fun and eat and be merry. He sees you as he walks in, merely nods, and he just goes, "Glad you were able to make it."
Rev nods back and goes and has a seat by the doctor because he seems so relaxed. He's the only one by himself, so Rev feels the need to
Rev, my man.
sit down next to the doc.
I
Doc,
give
I
him a
see you're
good
relaxed.
acknowledgement. Yeah, finally. You know, I'm not the most popular person in this town.
Rev's like, really?
No, I think I've saved some face. And for once, I am actually truly relaxed. Where have you been?
Well, I was talking to Alistair in his study. There's he laid down some truth on me. I feel like as a group we have some choices to make, but I feel like that can wait till tomorrow. Tonight is, I think, a time for rest and recovery. And by the way, what is the Sarge doing out there?
Oh, I gotta tell you, Sarge.
Is he twirling that woman? What is?
Sarge is wooing the living heck out of that fine young woman. Over there now.
Looks at the doc and then looks at the woman just to make sure his eyes are.
Rev, please just humor me. As far as the Sarge is concerned, she's a dazzling temptress. I don't know if you recognize her, but
no, who is that? I don't think I've. Is that Cam?
That is the one and only. Yes. She tried to make an indecent proposal, if you will, to me. She
Rev just starts laughing when he says indecent proposal. He just starts laughing.
She can snap her fingers and have this entire bar wanting to choke me and stomp on me. So I had to act that.
That 80-year-old woman has your balls in a vice, is what you're saying.
She absolutely does, 100%. And I am down 250 checks, but I am up some good feelings because my friend, the old Sarge, is out there cutting a rug and he looks happy. He looks happy. Now, don't ask me how those two got connected, but let's just say I was playing Cupid tonight, and I shot a few arrows, and luckily they landed.
The doctor doing his charming ways. I didn't know you had it in you, Doc.
Well, I try, I give. I try to give.
I try to give. I try
to.
Well, Rev just kind of pats the doc on the shoulder, and for the first time in a while, he actually is a little loosened up from kind of the freedom, and he actually takes a drink and starts slowly nursing it as he sits there by the doc.
As that happens, and you guys are kind of merely sitting there, in the middle, more people start to go out and start to dance. The Sarge, I'd like you to roll dexterity if you can, or deftness if you could, or agility, athletics, whatever you want to roll, whatever you have. Roll athletics for the sake of it.
Athletics. got a 12.
Okay. You're starting to move a little more lively now. A little more lively. The band starts to kick up the tune. Just a little more lively. Your waltz is now like a full-blown, like, line dance. With just like with everybody kind of following suit with you. As that happens, Sinjin kind of walks out there and starts dancing as well. Wants to dance next to his boss there. And Jaina walks across the room, walks over to Rev, and extends her hand out, and she just goes, "Would you like to dance, Rev?"
Rev is a little surprised. Nobody, at least in his short-term memory, has asked him to dance in a long time. And he kind of tentatively takes her hand and is like, I guess I haven't done this in a long time.
She grabs your hand, she pulls you up, and she just goes, "Just follow me."
And Rev does. He follows her, tentatively takes one more drink and puts it on and joins Jane on the dance floor.
As you
Good
two
for
as
you.
well dance, another woman who's not as old as Cam walks up to the good doctor, and she just goes, "Would you like to
great.
dance?" Everyone else
Not
is
as old
doing
as
it.
Cam. Yes, you know, can you just do me a favor,
Of course.
Miss? What is your name, by the way?
My name is Lily.
Lily. My name is Ace, and it's a pleasure to meet you. You know what? I tell you what. If we dance, could you just do me a favor, and can we just go as far away from the crowd and the people in the middle, and in particular that woman right over there, while we're dancing, if you don't mind?
She goes, "Okay."
Just, it's a long story, no bother explaining. I'm
Understood.
just gonna jump up, and before I give myself a chance to say no and just want to chill and relax for once, I'm gonna just boom get up, and I'm gonna lead her out to
Okay.
the furthest darkest corner of the of the bar, kind of on the very edges
Sure.
of what's going on. And let's see. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I don't know what dance I'm gonna do. I'll just start. I'll kind of just whatever.
You
Just
just
doing one of those old Earth dances like
Yeah.
the Macarena.
One of those
of
older
course,
dances I
yeah.
can't think of any. So
Yeah. You start to teach her the Macarena.
probably something she's never seen before.
Probably not. You start break dancing, and she's like,
Yeah.
what is this?"
Yeah, I'm gonna start pop locking and be like, yeah.
You're
You're
the
a
robot.
robot.
You basically are a robot. So
Yeah. And I'm gonna bust in the Running Man and be like, yeah.
As the evening winds down, you guys enjoy your evenings. You enjoy the festivities. You are full of food, and for the first time in a very long time, a little bit of peace. It seems like here in Brimlow that the world outside doesn't seem to exist. It's its own world here, its own little pocket of peace and happiness. With that, you each will find your way back to your own quarters and fall asleep before Alistair says, "Gentlemen, let's talk in the morning."
sure thing, Alistair.
As
That
that
sounds
happens,
good.
you each can get a full night's rest. That means all your exhaust is again filled up, as well as your health. But I would like a little awareness roll from. Actually, you know what? Intellect roll from the Sarge.
12.
Ooh. Spending your time in the arms of Cam has reminded you of it's been a very, very long time, Sarge. And beggars can't be choosers. As you wake up in the morning, you feel refreshed. Unfortunately, lying next to you is Cam.
Coyote ugly time.
Do you do anything, Gideon? You've had relations with a very old woman. At least you think.
Well, Gideon, like, he's like felt the ravages of time like on his system, and he's been like, he's like overwhelmed. He's like, I believe I'm in love. And he's like, this woman could outdrink me. She can, and like the whole night, just like it was just like this mesmerizing dream, like this beer fueled
Sure.
extravaganza.
Yeah, absolutely. You feel something
I didn't
inside.
see it going that way.
You feel something inside that old ticker that you haven't felt in a very long time. And that's the warmth of a good woman.
It's like he starts thinking like, I've got to put in a good word for the doc. Like, I never would have met her if it wasn't for him.
Well,
in fact, like he actually goes on his the wrist device.
Your
what was
sidekick?
it called?
Your sidekick?
Yeah, my sidekick. Like, and he texts the doc, and he's
Oh.
like, you're not gonna believe this. You made my life.
I'm just gonna kind
Oh my god.
of shake up a little bit and look down and be like,
Yeah, you're not exactly sure the context of that all, Doc, because you can't
No.
remember. You left before them. You're just like, what? You made his life? Do you text back to him? I mean, he's
I'm just gonna say
not
what-
sure if he wants to do that.
I don't know. And I'm gonna just text. Where are you?
You get
And, like,
you get a little ring on your sidekick from the Dr. Sarge as you're like still lying there in bed next to her. Do you do anything back?
I just text back. I just put the words Cam.
Oh shit!
And then, like,
Heart gold.
Heart emoji, XO, XO.
So I'm gonna just kind of hear it and look back and be like,
I didn't expect this to happen, dude.
and it's gonna just. I'm gonna put it together. I'm gonna be like, oh my god. He actually did it. He frickin' did it. Wait a minute. Made your life? Exclamation, question mark, exclamation. And I'm just gonna put ... Well, don't mention it, buddy. You're a great friend. I just want the best for you.
You get this message back, Gideon. At this point, because another ring goes off, Cam rolls over and looks you in your eye, and she just goes, and she grabs your hand before you can reply, and she just goes, "Hold me."
and like Gideon embraces her.
Of course. She goes, "This is so wonderful."
And he goes, "Where did you learn to drink?"
She goes, "Matilda."
Oh.
Shit.
Uh,
You said Matilda? I know I don't hear because I'm not there, but
She goes, "She was my best friend. We used to drink all the time. But now, I will only drink with you, my love.
And he's the sergeant's like processing this, and he says he just kind of taps her on the shoulder and says yes. Like,
Wait, did you just say in like this weird matrixing sound? Did you say that you pat her on the back?
I know, I like on the shoulder.
Oh.
Like, yes, because he's trying to avoid the like because he heard the name Matilda.
Oh gosh, okay. Doesn't want.
Yeah, he's trying to kind of redirect her towards like the relationships. Like, this is now you have a new drinking partner.
Oh, you take it in place of Matilda. Okay, gotcha. Sorry, Richard. Like your connection's really bad. I can't make out what you were saying. Okay. With that, she merely smiles to you, and she just goes, "Make me a young woman again this morning."
Oh God! Oh man, he's a hell of a guy, but he ain't no magician. You gotta get one of those grimoires and bust that sucker out. Maybe that'll make her, you know.
And the sergeant.
Yeah. He's like, "What am I, a sorcerer?"
So you will need mechanical enhancements.
Oh, you already took care of that, Sarge. You gave her mechanical enhancement last night, I'm sure. Oof. Oof.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
Wow. What a classy dame. I don't mean to react because I'm not there, but I will tell you this. I'm just kind of like I'm doing one of these from way far away, just for my friend Sarge. Just one of these like really mild
golf claps. Give him the golf clap.
Well played. Well played.
Rev,
and then I'm also like, yes, thank you.
Rev, you wake up, energized, feeling good. It's again, it feels like good restful sleeps are kind of hard to come by.
Yes, for the first time in forever, it seems.
But you do notice that your sidekick's been going off this whole time, and you just see a slew of messages because
they hit reply all when they were.
Sarge has been hitting reply
Sarge
all
sent it out to everybody.
Rev is just
throwing the stupid
looking at Cam. You made my life. Heart emoji. What?
XOXO.
That's like, did the Sarge get married last night?
Hey.
You get one nice reply all message from Voldo that says, "Well done. Double marriage. We can split the cost."
Well, Rev is kind of dumped out. He was not expecting everybody to get married over the last couple of days. He's actually wondering, does that mean Voldo and Sarge are going to live in Brimlow?
Oh, man.
As you start to normally try to figure out what the heck has just transpired over a 8-hour session there, you each start to wake up, and there's a knock and a rap on each of your doors, and a knock and a rap on Cam's door. It's merely a young boy who seems to be just some kind of errand boy who knocks and just goes, "Breakfast would be served at the bar. Compliments of Lord Crom." And he kind of like looks at his hand, and he just goes, "We expect you all in 10 minutes. And you see that he's reading something off of his hand because he can't remember exactly what he was supposed to be telling you. And he just goes, "Yeah, Yes, 10 minutes. And he just kind of turns and he jolts down the to the next room, which he does that for Voldo. He does that for the Sarge, and he does that for the good doctor. What would you like to do, gentlemen?
Rev's gonna get dressed, get all his gear together. He's ready to like go out and face the day after that night. So he's gonna get there early and start piling his plate high with whatever. If they have eggs, he's looking for eggs.
They have everything.
Nice.
Alistair made sure that you have a strong, healthy, balanced meal. There's eggs. There's assorted fishes there as well, because it is a fishing town. And assorted fruits and veggies. Rev, you're the first one there. Alistair is merely sitting there at a table. And he just goes, get whatever you want. Then have a sit next to me.
Absolutely, Alistair. You're an amazing host, and that was a great party last night.
My pleasure. After that, the doctor walks in. You see that Rev has already started to eat. There is a table set in the middle that has just enough chairs for each one of you in your party. And he just goes, good doctor, Cupid himself.
Gentlemen, how do you fare this fine morning?
Doc, it's great.
Wonderful.
Join us.
I can assure you both, neither of you have fared as well as the old Sarge.
Rev's like, yeah, did you
But
get
I
some weird
digress.
message this morning? I got some messages.
No way, those went to you too? Oh,
Something
this is
about
rich.
Cam and Hearts. I don't know. This is
Well, I tell you what, we'll see what he has to say, because I have a feeling it's going to be far more entertaining coming from him. So brace yourself.
all right, Doc. You got it.
The next who walks in is Sinjin and Jaina. They're both holding each other's hands.
What? I'm going to be like, them over to Rev there.
Rev is completely clueless. He's been sunk in his own head. He's like, I had no idea. I don't know.
Sinjin walks up and just goes, gentlemen, it's a wonderful morning, isn't it?
Indeed it is. Jaina, how are you?
It's good to see you today, Doctor.
Likewise.
Rev? It's
Jane, are
wonderful to
you
see
doing okay this morning?
Never better. And we didn't do what you think we did, Rev. Okay.
Rev's like, I didn't
There's
say
enough
anything.
of that from the Sarge. I read all of Sinjin's incoming messages.
Perfect.
Rev's
If
like,
I could do a spit take right now, I would. I'd be like,
But nonetheless, she goes, today's a big day, isn't it?
today we have lots of plans to make.
And with that, she sits down, and Sinjin walks over and makes 2 plates. One for him and one for her. Voldo walks in as well with Danny. She's now relatively connected to the hip with him. And he walks in and he goes, hey guys.
Mr. and Mrs. Voldo.
He goes, yeah,
Voldo, Danny.
I'm pretty sure we're going to get married.
Rev's like, I thought you already were married, Voldo.
Yeah.
Maybe. I'm not exactly sure how it works. But last night was a good night. But not as good as Sarge.
Booyah.
He kind of like turns to Danny, and Danny goes, and he kind of high fives her. He's like, it's like now he's taught her how to high five. And after that, in walks the man of the hour. A man who, for the past couple weeks that you've hung out with him, has looked like garbage. He's been blown up more than you can ever imagine in the short time that you've been adventuring with him. He's passed out cold and been unconscious in more fights than you care to imagine. But today, he looks like 20 years younger. He's got a smile on his face. His step
His
is
armor's all
lighter.
polished.
His armor is polished. Compliments of Cam, who did that this morning. You walk in, Sarge, feeling like a new man. And you see a table full of your friends. As you walk in, Jaina looks at you and just goes, "Hey, Sarge."
Sarge, like,
Hey, look who it is. It's the Sarge. I'm going to get up. I'm just going to be like, Sarge, hey, come on, buddy.
Bulldog
Out
Gus,
of
yeah.
way. Look at him. He looks great. Doesn't he look great, everybody?
Sim-
Give Sarge a round of
St. John
applause.
puts down his plates and is like, Jaina's just like, "Oh, well done."
Rev's like, what? Why is everybody clapping? What? Rev's still a little confused. Rev just goes, "Did you get married last night?"
and the Sarge
Everyone looks
says,
at Sarge.
there might be something in the pipeline. I don't know I don't know. My mind is processing more than my liver right now. And he just like puts to the dog and he goes, "Thank you.
No, Sarge, really, thank you.
Alistair
Thank you, Sarge.
merely laughs and chuckles and just goes, "It seems like the old doctor has a little bit of magic of his own."
Oh, you could call it that, I guess.
Well, gentlemen and ladies, please sit. Much to discuss. Sarge, why don't you take my chair for the day? You seem to be the man of the hour. And he kind of like walks up, because you're old friends, he embraces you and he just goes, "I didn't think you had it in you, good boy." I mean, it's been a long time for me, but there's some things, like some lines I just don't cross. But you did it. So, all right.
That's cold.
Just sit down. Coffee for this one. No drinks for him. Just stiff coffee. As that happens, you guys are merely sitting there enjoying the day, and you notice on the outside that the rest of the town seems to go on with their day. And he merely sits there and he stokes up again his pipe and just goes, "So, gentlemen and ladies, what is your plan?"
Rev looks around and he asks Alistair, "Are you okay if we discuss the book that we talked about last night?"
He immediately looks at you and he just goes, "What book?" And then snaps it into his hand. "Oh, this one!"
And Rev goes, "He has a grimoire, and apparently there might be a way that there might be something we can do to separate that from Miko, because I feel like if we don't do that, we are not making any progress in this war."
Wait, that's not like how did you get that thing? Is this what are you gonna flip out on us too, or is...
Of course not. I have mastered my own grimoire.
Rev says, apparently there's 4 of these things, and they don't all make you go crazy like I thought they did.
Well,
But
thank
Miko
God for
has
that.
one that is very dangerous that I think we need to separate her from.
How do we do that?
Rev looks at Alistair, and then he looks over at Danny, and he says, "Danny, have you ever interacted with any of the shamans among your people?"
Danny stops feeding Voldo, who's like his mouth is kind of like full of stuff, and she just goes, I'm not exactly sure. It's been a very long time. I was but a child when I last was there. But I am aware that there are shamans, and they do still exist in Veya.
If we could get to God's finger in Veya, if we could find one of these shamans, do you think you would be able to help us talk to one about finding a way to either destroy this grimoire or separate it from someone, because this is too much power to be in the hands of somebody like Miko?
She thinks about it for a second and merely goes, You want me to take you to the epicenter?
The epicenter of what?
The epicenter of all Saldarians. The great city. The point where all of the star-fired lines intersect.
I did not know that was a place of such significance.
There are other cities and such that are Saldarian, but only the wisest, the oldest, the most powerful reside atop God's finger.
Rev looks at Alistair and he says, I think that's where we're supposed to go.
Alistair merely looks back at you and then looks to Danny and just goes, It is maybe your best bet.
Rev just says to Danny, I know that Brimlow seems safe, and it has been the most peace we have had since any of us can remember, I think. But there is a war out there, and if we don't do something to stop it, I don't think even Brimlow will stay safe. And I believe if we can find a way to have these shamans possibly give us guidance, maybe give us some sort of hope, that's the only thing I can see that might give us a chance in this war.
She looks around the table to each one of you. And then she looks at Voldo. And then she looks at Jaina. And then back to Alistair and just goes, I will do my best to take you there. I will do my best to be an ambassador. But you must understand, Rev, that the journey is quite dangerous. Not many Saldarians come out from inside Veya. And those who have gone in seldom return.
I feel like nowhere we go is safe anymore. So if this gives us any hope, I feel like we should take it.
Then I will take you.
Rev looks at the Sarge and Doc and Voldo, and he says, "This is the only path I see forward. Do you all have any other ideas?"
Voldo immediately just goes, "Wherever Danny's going, I'm going. I made a promise." Wait, I'm sorry, Sarge? I'm sorry, Sarge. Who's like,
Oh.
sorry, Doctor? What did you say?
Nothing. I said nothing. I'm sorry. Just a little glitch in my workings.
Understood.
Carry on. Good man. Good man.
Rev looks over to Sarge. He says, "So you and Kim, are you gonna stay in Brimlow?"
Sarge knows that the mission, like his mission has to continue, but like now he has something more to live for.
Mm-hmm.
Now that
That's of course if she lives past winter.
Oh, that's he feels the she like he feels like what's that word, like he feels more motivated, like I can do this, I can I have a reason to move forward now.
Okay.
You fight for Cam now.
Alistair looks at you and just goes, "Wait, you're fighting for Cam?"
Well, I know that the battlefield comes first.
You're fighting for Cam. That's what I heard. Spare me the battlefield talk. That's soldier jargon. You are in love, and I guarantee she probably loves you back. I will watch over her and protect her until she dies. Or if you come back first. Do we have an understanding? Gideon?
Yes.
Excellent. Then Gideon will go with you.
He's there.
Glad to have you, Sarge. I hope it's not too hard to part from your new love so soon.
Yeah, Sarge, and trust me, we'll have a really awesome funeral. I mean, party for both of you guys when we get back, because we will come back, and she will be waiting for you on a hill in a meadow of sorts with stones erected in her. Well, she'll be waiting.
Rev just punches Doc in the shoulder, like.
Sorry. Love knows no bounds, and I appreciate that, Sarge. That's a good man. And all I know is that we've come up against this thing a couple times, and we've really not had any chance. So if this is what we think of the best option is, I say we do it.
Jaina interjects and merely just goes, "I'm with you, Rev. Wherever you go. Because I believe in you."
Thank you, Jaina. I must admit, these last ever since Warband, I've not felt that we have been strong enough to face what has come at us. But I feel like we have hope now. So if we can work together, if we can focus on trying to do what we need to do, I feel like we might have a chance.
Sinjin chimes in. And he just goes, "If the Sarge is going, and Jaina, then I'm with you. Rev, I am with you, Doc. I am with you, Voldo. We will do our best. You can ask no more."
Rev then looks at Alistair. It looks like we're all in. So, how do we get to God's finger?
Unfortunately, there is much terrain you will have to traverse. You must first reach the southern docks on Vea itself. I will have Leon, our greatest sailor, take you down there under protection of cloaking. He can take you down the Acheron, where you will not be seen, and get you to the southern tip of Vea. There, upon Vea, there is only a single gap within the Moonborn Mountains. And remember, you had seen the Moonborn Mountains before. That's where that mine shaft was at the base.
The Moonborn Mountains.
Just outside of Hopetown. That got you to the Shuttle Moth.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we saw them in the distance, right?
Right.
Okay.
There is a single path there called the Path of Shelan. It's the only path into Vea itself. It was an old path used by travelers and caravans, bringing forth trade from the innards of Vea itself to Hopetown, and from Hopetown over to Lumina. But the Path of Shelan is probably grown over, but it is still there. The gap will get you into the innards of Vea, where you will find yourself within the great jungles of Zalanda. Stay upon the path. Do not wander from it, or you will be lost within the heavy jungles of Zalanda. Beyond that, I can tell you no more. You will have to find the path beyond to yourself.
Is there any way to recognize this path?
It should be a caravan path. That is all I can tell you. For there was long ago trade between our two continents, our two lands. I'm sure it's still there, if you look hard enough. If anything, you know you'll be on the right path if you reach the Falls of Baleine. There should be a great bridge that was constructed that will get you across the great gorge and the falls below. And that should lead you out to a great plain. And beyond that, you should be able to find God's finger.
Is God's finger a mountain? Is it a peak? Is it a...
It is a great
plateau?
peak inside a large gorge that extends the highest peak in all of Vea itself.
Well, that is our path. When should we depart?
Leon is already prepared and ready. It's best
What
that you go
supplies?
while the time is on your side.
Is there
Yeah.
any way we can... If we're going through some jungles, we're going to need some sort of machete to cut our way through. Is there anything like that here that we can use?
I mean, you have a weapon.
Yeah, I don't know if a naginata is good at getting through thick vines.
Just as good as a machete.
Okay, all right. Rev's like, I kill people with this, not vines.
Not vines. He just goes, well, maybe there's someone who could create something. Danny, run, go, make something for Rev.
Thank you, Danny.
She just
Naginata
goes,
is a soul
she
blade.
goes,
It's
she
not
just goes,
a machine.
okay.
Okay.
Immediately, she scurries on out.
Good. Rev is very protective of his soul blade.
Sure, fine. Sure, fine.
See, he's like, Indiana Jones with his hat. He doesn't just leave it behind.
Sure, fine. Okay. What else, gentlemen?
Rev, you think of any other supplies we may need? Alistair?
Not much
Jungle's
of not much of an adventurer. I can only
well, haven't
provide you
spent too much time in
information.
the jungle.
As long as we take rations and, our survival gear, we can only. I mean, it's a jungle, so we should probably prepare for wet weather. But other than that, I have a bedroll, I have my rations, I have my canteen. You have your trusty rope.
Indeed.
Yes, I do. And a grappling hook.
Will be very useful.
All right.
Gentlemen, are you ready?
When shall we go?
I am. Rev is brimming with energy, so Rev is ready to go.
A mere few hours pass to give Danny enough time to make what you named a machete, which she's never heard of before. But you explain to her exactly what you think a machete should be.
A blade that will cut through jungle that I don't get sap all over my Naginata.
And she just goes, a sword.
Yeah, sure. But a wider blade so it can get through, thick vines,
Understood. With that, in relatively mere hours, she creates something that looks like what you have described. It's kind of has a little bit of a hooked blade, a little bit on it, a little bit of a flare. She gives it nice jagged edges so you could saw through some stuff if need be.
Nice, Danny. Good thinking.
She goes, "Thank you, Rev." And with that, she loads up her pack and she grabs her trusty hammer that she has created for herself, which is wrapped in white and pink swirls.
Wow.
And she kind of like straps it to her back and she grabs her smithing hammer as well and slides it into the side. And she just goes, "I'm ready."
We thank you, Danny. You are very important for this mission.
"Thank you, Rev." And with that, she closes her shop up and she puts a little sign that says closed. As you each make your way down to the pier, you see a gentleman who is in a brown overall onesie, essentially. He's wearing a round brimmed hat. And he's got a big bushy beard. And he just goes, "Oi, gentlemen, ladies, I'm Leon. I will be your sailor for today. Please
How do you do, Leon?
jump on upon my barge."
Can you really get us down the Acheron without anybody seeing us?
I have a cloaking device upon this. They will not be able to see us. I have done this many times. And this is not my true accent. "Hi, my name's Leon. Gentlemen, do you like this one or do you like this one? This one
Leon,
I think is more dashing."
I don't care about your accent. I'd love to see the cloaking device on your boat, though.
"I don't like you. Next."
What?
He walks up and he sees the doc. He just goes, "Let me ask you something, Doc. Do you like this accent? Or do you like, 'Hello, my name is Leon'?"
It's funny. I just got a really weird reminiscent feeling about an old film that I seem to remember from my youth. where a French-sounding gentleman named Leon. Yeah,
I bet you he was quite the professional.
He what? Whoa! Now that you mention it, he really, really was.
Interesting enough, he did have a friend called Matilda.
All of this is now hitting me at once, and yeah. How the hell did you know that?
Because what do you think I got this accent from? My favorite
well,
movie.
You're impressing me.
I watch it over and over.
That is very impressive.
Excellent.
That is very, very impressive.
So either or, gentlemen.
Leon,
please get aboard. Let's make haste and get you over to Vea as soon as possible. I don't want to waste too much of your time. The good Alistair has already told me of your plans. Myself and the Grey Goose will get you there safely and quickly.
If you could protect us like you would, I don't know, Natalie Portman.
Who is this Natalie Portman? Shall we continue? I don't know. She sounds like she has a foolish name. Next. As that everybody jumps on, Sarge,
sacrilege.
As you are about to board the ship, you can hear, my love, as she kind of like scurries towards you.
Geez, Sarge, you didn't even say goodbye to her, huh?
She goes,
what's that all about?
She throws herself into your arms. She just goes, will you be back?
For every moment we're out there, I will fight to come back. And I need you to wish us well.
She goes, she kisses you.
Never want to win.
She kisses you on your lips. And then she kisses you on your cheek. And kisses you on your forehead. And she just goes, I believe you will come back to me.
I will ensure that.
And she hugs you.
We will all return.
I don't care about the others. I only care about you. And she looks at the good doctor from behind his shoulder, and she just goes, protect him. This is partly your fault.
I absolutely will, and you can rest assured that when Sarge returns, he'll have a nice, beautiful bouquet of flowers to place right on top of your counter at work.
Hands in her hands.
Just got your hands in her hands.
Into your hands, yes. Your loving hands. Won't you, Sarge?
She reaches out her hand towards yours and grabs it and gives it a nice squeeze. And she just goes, I will hold you to your words. And with that, she walks off the pier and she turns around and she merely waves to you, Sarge. Do you wave back?
Oh yeah, he waves and he says, drink for us while we go.
She goes, of course I will. For love.
For love.
The boat starts to move slowly. This boat itself is a nice wooden boat, probably the size of a nice Corsair. Upon it, though, sits solar sails. And the solar sails power a iron pulse engine. Immediately, the golden goose starts to move forward. And immediately you can hear a loud humming sound. And he merely sends out and he just goes, wave back, gentlemen. This is the last they will see of us. Or of you. The golden goose is off. Wish us luck. And with that, it cloaks completely. It does not take long for the gray goose to get you to where you want to go. You run into no issues. It's relatively smooth sailing to get to the southern tip. It probably falls around maybe 2 or 3 hours. Luckily itself, the seas and the waters are in your favor, as well as the wind. You reach down to the southern portion. As you see off into the side, the last remnants of Hopetown. You continue farther and farther down, and you reach a singular pier that seems to be put out there, and there's nothing else around. There's no towns, there's no cities, there's nothing. As you reach it, he merely docks. He does not drop the cloaking, and he comes up to each one of you, and he just goes, "This is your place. I wish you luck."
Thank you, Leon.
Thank you. Thank you for the safe travels.
And he hands over to you something. He gives it to Rev. And essentially, it seems to be like a flare gun.
Hmm.
And he just goes, "If you ever make it back to this pier, fire this flare into the air, and I will come for you."
Thank you, Leon. This is an amazing gift you've given us. You've given us hope.
He puts his hand upon yours, Rev. Puts his hand upon Sarge, Voldo, Jaina, each. And he just goes, "I hope you find what you were looking for. Good luck, and stay safe." As you all each disembark, he merely casts off again, and you see the cloaking fall upon it, the sail barge itself, and he seemingly just disappears from view. You're probably about, what you can guess is probably about a mile out from where you see a gap between the two mountain ranges. Now, the mountain ranges themselves probably scale up to maybe 100 feet, 200 feet, or even more in some places. It seems to be the Moonborn Mountains are like a wall around the innards of Vea itself. You probably think there's other ways to get in, but those are probably farther and farther south. Probably not easy to get down there as well. Of course, it starts to get into the Marion Ocean, which you know is to be much rougher waters out there as well. As you start to move closer and closer to which is you would consider as Vea proper, you see a small V-like gap between the mountain ranges. And you start to see what looks to be down on the ground below you, some kind of used and carved out path. It, as you start to follow it, it gets you to what you find yourself is a very, very small gap, which you guess to be exactly what Alistair had said, which is the gap of Shelan. What you see beyond it, though, is just heavy and dense forest. With that,
Rev's,
what would you like to do, All?
Rev would like to pull out the machete that Danny made. Say, I guess it's time to get to work. You all ready to head through this jungle?
Voldo merely comes in and just goes, "If that's where we need to go, let's do it."
I think I should take the front as I'm chopping through this, and we need somebody to watch our back. Alistair did say we must stay on the path, so we need to be very careful. I almost think we should, I don't know if we should tie ourselves together or do something to keep us all together so no one gets lost.
St. John goes, does anyone have like 60 feet of rope?
I actually do. What if we should we all just hold on to it, or what should we do? Is there any way we can is there any way we could on our data links
Mm-hmm.
have like a dot that represents every one of us, like a grid or something that lets us know that we're all together based on.
I'm to assume that you can probably create something like that, sure. And I'm guessing that the red dots are the sidekicks creating some kind of ping, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. If we could use, I mean, it would be nice if we could use our data, our sidekicks as some sort of GPS or something to
Sure.
keep us together.
I want to try and set like a range.
Right. It
in
would have a
some type.
certain amount of range in order for you to do that. Anything beyond it would be too much.
Well, I want to see if there's any way I can have it send a signal if someone from the group
Someone got
gets too
lost?
far away from the rest.
Go ahead and roll hacking because you have hacking. Who has hacking? Voldo has it.
Hacking, yeah.
Voldo can try to do it.
Yeah, Rev does not. Rev has engineering, not hacking.
Voldo does. What do you have, Doc?
Prep
trumps
prep
luck.
trumps
Go
luck.
ahead.
I have hacking. 17.
Okay. Voldo rolls a 17 as well. So in mere, I'd probably say like a good 20 minutes, they're able to create some kind of triangulated grid between all of your sidekicks as well. Why everybody's in different places now?
I think everybody moved from Mike's thing, maybe.
Everyone's in different places. Who cares at this point?
It's all right. It's all right. It's all right.
If you don't see us in different places, who cares? You guys know who each other is. That you create a little bit of a triangulation that only goes out for a certain distance, probably around 200 feet is probably as much power as you're able to get out of it. Anything beyond that, you get a sense that you would have to get closer to that person for it to pick up again.
Okay.
With that,
so
what would you guys like to do?
So will we get an alert if someone happens to stray further than that,
pings. It pings the person. That's it.
Okay.
Rev still thinks we should just take this rope, tie it around each person's waist, so that we are connected as we're making our way through this jungle. Are you okay with that, Doc? If we use your rope for that?
I am. I'm gonna elect to take up the rear. Unless anyone is opposed to that, I'm gonna activate my drone guardian, my ion drone guardian.
Okay.
And I think that's a good idea.
I think I would rather just Yeah, I'm not going to necessarily tie it. I think I'll have the grappling hook at the end, and I'll just put it around my waist and put the hook just to keep it around my waist.
To kind of lock it in place a little bit?
A little bit.
Sure, okay.
Yeah, some sort of like slip knot, something that we can get out of quickly if needed, but just to keep us together in case somebody goes off the path.
Okay, perfect. So everybody, is it being wrapped around them, or are they just holding on?
I would like it to be wrapped around, but something that's like a loose knot that can quickly be released.
It can be released if necessary. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. As you each connect your group together, with Rev in the front, Voldo will be behind you, because he does have a sword that he'll help slash some of the side stuff out.
Okay.
Danny will be behind him. Then it'll be Jaina, Sinjin, Gideon, and the Doc in the back.
Okay.
As you start to chop away and move forward, I would like you to start to roll well-being, Rev.
Well-being. Okay. I don't think I have that. Let me check. Okay. 15.
15? Okay. You're doing pretty well. You're really making some progress as you start to cut away. Voldo's help is much appreciated. It helps you to just really start to clear a wider path. And you start to notice that you're staying pretty well and following the path. What you think is that path. Okay.
I can recognize a path.
It's
as we're going.
recognizable as enough that you would think that this was a path that probably could have been used.
Okay.
There's obviously a difference in coloration. It looks a bit depressed as well. And anything beyond that seems to be just dense overbrush, foliage, and trees.
Can I see any like animal tracks or human tracks on any
Do you
of
have
this as we're
survival
going?
tactics?
I don't think I do.
Does
Let
any
me
of you
check.
have survival tactics?
Yeah. I only have awareness. I don't have anything like survival tactics or anything like that.
Yeah, and you can make the roll, but you roll at unfavorable.
Okay.
If you like to attempt to, go right ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna attempt to.
Okay.
Unfavorable is -3, right?
-3.
So that's a 4.
Okay. Nothing really stands out to you. Nothing that you can see as something that would be constituting animal tracks or anything like that.
Okay.
Does anybody else like to attempt to make a roll? Does anybody have anything?
Rev will just shout out, "Keep your eyes open."
Sure.
I have investigation and knowledge.
You can try to roll investigation. What about you, Sarge? Do you have anything?
I have awareness.
Ooh, I got an 18.
So 18?
Yeah.
Duck, you start to see what you think could fall as some kind of tracks, though you don't know what has created this tracks at all. But it's enough that gives you the sense that the farther and farther you go in, you can see more and more traction around that is crossed across
Are
the
they like
track itself.
Like a vehicle?
No.
Oh, great.
Of just what you think has to just be wildlife in the jungle itself. Continuing it, I would like Rev to roll power.
Okay. This one I do have, so that would be a 15.
Okay. I would like you each to roll awareness. Hey, how are you, Nietzsche? Thanks for hanging out this evening with us.
Hey, what's up, Nietzsche? Nietzsche and Renus are
Nietzsche and Renus, yep.
Damn, I am on a roll.
I
got
13.
And 12 for my 11 for my awareness.
Sarge?
2.
Okay. Rev, you do notice that the more and more that you seem to make progress into the jungles itself, that this is thick jungle.
Mm-hmm.
You start to notice that's immediately more humid here.
Mm-hmm.
And that then farther and farther you get in, and the doc notices this as well, that there's a heaviness that seems to fall upon you with every step. You're starting to breathe harder. You don't know if it's just necessary, you're just not acclimated to this environment and this weather.
Does it feel like we're going up in altitude at all?
It feels that way, sure. That's a definite way. You feel cloudy as well. But you don't notice that you're inclining up at all.
Oh, okay.
It's just the same feeling. You get the deeper and deeper that you get into the Zalanda itself.
Okay.
It's starting to get really, really heavy as well. You start to feel drained with every swing now. Doc, you start to feel and notice this as well. And if I would like you to roll like you to roll science, Doctor.
Yep, I got that.
I know you do. Hence the reason why I asked you to
It
roll
says
it.
+5.
Yep. Go
I
ahead.
wrote down +5. Damn, dude, I'm on a roll. I got 21.
21.
Nothing but good rolls.
As you
Nice.
as you continue to get farther and farther in, it takes you some time as you're really taking everything in from a scientific approach. You get the sense that, and Rev has done this as well, that there's an extreme heaviness and that it's zapping your energy the more and more that you continue on in, and that it feels like you're breathing in just a foul air. And maybe that itself is just because of the forest of these trees that probably go up 5, 6, 7 stories up. That it's just a canopy of trees and leaves and overbrush and overhang, enough that you actually you can barely even see the sky beyond. It feels that you're actually inside a living and breathing jungle. As you each start to kind of take in a little bit and you look around, I'd like each of you to roll awareness if you could.
9 for me.
Okay.
10.
Sarge?
17.
Okay, and Jaina rolls 17. You and Jaina, Sarge, start to kind of like look up at the canopy of trees that is pretty much feels like it's like growing around you. Only streaks and rays of lights that kind of pierce through this canopy reach and kind of illuminate some of the ground floor the farther and farther you get in. You do notice, though, as you kind of look up, that the farther and farther you go in, that above you seems to be this silvery crystal-like, mirror-like feeling that's just above, like it's some weird cloud cover that seems to be right at the top of the trees themselves. And in certain angles, you can see that it kind of glistens off of it, and it just kind of gives it like this crystalline look every now and then upon the canopy in the sky above. As you get farther and farther in, again, it starts to get a little bit thicker, like a fog almost, but it's still like, again, just shiny and sparkly just above in certain instances and certain lights when it pierces through. You each notice that it's starting to get harder and harder to breathe. Rev, it's starting to get harder and harder for you to swing your machete. You're now switching off with Voldo in spurts.
Okay.
And he starts to hack away, and when he gets tired, you seem to switch with him as well. A little more into your calculations and your observations, Doc. You probably guess that whatever this atmosphere is, maybe it's something that's coming from the trees, from the the plants or stuff. Maybe something's being secreted out into the air itself. Maybe it's the fact that there's not a lot of natural light that can actually pierce through the canopy above of this dense jungle, that each of you is expending more energy than you naturally would. And from a game perspective, every 30 minutes you're losing about 2 exhaust per.
Oh. Is there any way we can rest here, or is resting in this area going to do more harm than good as we're trying to get through here?
Not exactly sure. That would be
Okay.
Even the good doctor doesn't necessarily know the answer to that.
Okay.
But it's enough information that he can give you that far enough down the road you're going to have to before people start passing out.
Okay.
He can start to
How long have
notice
we
as
been?
well that Jaina is starting to, mainly because she's smaller and younger, that she's starting to wane a little bit. Her steps seem to get heavier and heavier. It's getting heavier and heavier for Sinjin as well as the Sarge, mainly because they're wearing heavy armor as well. And even for you, Doc, you can feel like there's a heaviness, a cloud of maybe even haze or confusion that might soon enough be affecting you all the farther and farther you get in.
Rev, when he's letting Voldo take the, chopping duties for a
Mhm.
bit, kind of wants to talk to Doc and say, Doc, what do you think? Should we take a rest? We're taking, this is a lot more energy it's taken to get through here than it should. Do you think resting's a good idea or not? What do you think, Doc?
How long have we been at it?
I'd say at this point, you've probably been doing it for maybe and you've made good progress through it. Now that Rev and Volda are switching off, you probably get in about 2 hours in.
Okay. So that'd be
So
4
does that mean
exhaust.
so we lost 2 per half hour in that whole time?
Yes.
Oh, 2 per
Was
half
it
hour.
8?
So that's 8,
8.
yeah. So minus 8.
So that's for you as well, Sarge. Minus 8 exhaust.
I just tell Rev, I say, at this rate, I could see us all just fading. I want to kind of assess the path and make sure, it's at least seems like we're going in the right direction. My only concern about resting is that this feeling that I have, or this feeling, this heaviness, I don't want it to take over.
Mm-hmm.
It just feels really powerful.
Well, Rev says, I feel like if we don't rest, we might be in trouble. So I say we push on maybe an hour, half hour at most. I don't want to get so far that we are dropping, because if we drop in here without resting, I think we don't know what kind of animals are in here. We don't know what might find us. So I feel like we shouldn't work to exhaustion, because that would be more dangerous.
Well, I tend. Well, then you know what? If that's the case, I say we just take a load off now. Then, if you're okay with that, and then just see if maybe we can kind of just get our druthers, and see if it'll help.
Okay, so Rev would actually then like to call a halt
Okay.
and a rest, and allow us to kind of sit for maybe 30 minutes. Rev wants to actually try a couple things while we're rested to see if there's any way to either fight this off or analyze what's causing it, basically.
Okay. For everyone in the group, they agree with it. They all seem to be pretty wary at this point. You can see that Voldo's kind of sweating profusely now. He's been doing a lot. You yourself, Rev, just feel like you're almost overheating a bit. Each one of you just now is starting to feel like very sleepy. As wherever you've gotten to, and as much progress as you made, you start to notice around you the environment, the fauna itself, and you notice that there are a lot of plants here that seem to be a nice vibrant color. They're extremely large, much larger than anything that you've ever seen in Lumina. And then, for the sake of Lumina itself, it's a wasteland, so there isn't much of that kind of foliage and plants out there. But you see that this place is teeming with just different kinds of just life that is just not in Lumina itself. Things that you've never seen before. As you look more at some of these plants, it almost gives you a kaleidoscope look as you see like some streaks of light that kind of dance upon it, and it gives it almost a very mesmerizing look. As you create some kind of campground, I'm guessing. Do
Yeah, just a
you?
place.
Yeah. How would you like to situate this? Creating like a middle campsite and a circular, or are you creating like barriers? What would you like to do? How would you like to
Kind
situate
of.
it?
Yeah, basically just like off to the. If we've been cutting through this foliage, I'd like to back off from that barrier a bit.
Sure.
And maybe like kind of on the side of the path we've been making.
Okay.
Allow people just kind of sit. If there's a log to sit on, that's fine. I don't want anybody going off the path, but just kind of sitting
You
right
find
on the
some
edge of the
like
path.
rocks that are large enough for you, any of you, to sit on. There are some like knocked over trees that nice logs have kind of fallen over, and you can definitely sit upon that as well.
How wide are we? How wide is this path?
Making the path
as far as our best?
You tell me, Rev.
How wide is this
path? I mean, if I'm using a
obviously
machete, I'm saying probably at most 2 people wide, because I feel like it would take us too much time if we're making 6 feet wide or something,
Right.
you know. Just
Right. That's what you're carving out. But I mean, is there any idea to gauge what the path kind of was
What the
before
path
it
was?
got overgrown?
Sure. It probably was a good maybe 10, 12 feet wide at some points.
And it's man-made?
Yes.
Or
as
something
far as
made?
you know. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and as people sit down and rest, I want to actually make sure everybody drinks from their canteen and actually takes something from their rations and eats to try to restore energy. But Rev would also like to. You say there's all these vibrant flowers. Rev wants to take a look, not getting close, but he wants to kind of take a look and ask the doc if he recognizes any of this flora, because this is all very foreign to Rev, and he's not sure if these bright colors are good or bad, to see if the doc recognizes anything, or if anybody in the group does.
Sure.
Maybe even Danny, since she's native to this area.
I want to. What do you think would be best? Science, investigation,
Go
knowledge.
ahead and roll science.
And I feel like science, your botany knowledge or something.
I also want to try and. I also want to include in this just an idea, if I can get an idea of what might be ingestible and what might not be.
Sure.
For sustenance if necessary, or hydration.
No problem. Go for it.
Or energy. Or healing. Can I use Prep Trunk's luck again? Or did I already use it?
As long as you're spending exhaust to do it. That's how it works.
Yeah.
It does not cost any action. You just got to spend the exhaust.
Right. 16.
16? Now, the doctor himself is not a botanist. He is a cybernetic engineer. But he knows enough that some of these plant life has been used to synthesize other synthetic paraphernalia.
Hallucinogens or something.
Or such.
Okay.
Exactly. He knows enough to know what looks a bit poisonous or might have something, other properties. But he couldn't tell you what exactly that was. You do notice, Doc, there's not a lot that is ingestible around here that you would think enough that to be safe. There are mushrooms and such, but again, you were thinking based on how everything else is growing here, some of these things might be actually releasing something into the air, causing probably some of the exhaustion and the cloudiness that is kind of going on in you. Mainly enough because you're not acclimated at all to this plant life. This is something that you've never been part of, but you have dealt with people who have done some, what you would say, questionable things in regards to their alchemist ways. And
Voldo is very experienced in this, I'm sure.
Voldo would probably be as well. Again, but he's more of that we can find in Lumina, and the dealings and the transactions of getting this stuff, not necessarily knowing what this stuff is.
Is there any way, as we're sitting here and resting, that we can make some sort of just... I know we wouldn't be able to make like an air filter for our face,
Right.
but some sort of mask that might help keep as many foreign particles as we could make something in a short time.
I wouldn't know what exactly you guys have that you're able to create such a thing.
Does anyone have mystical?
Yes,
Rev does.
Rev does, yes.
So does Voldo.
I wonder if there might be a need for like a mystical check of some sort to see if there's any type of...
I was thinking of trying to do some sort of, the whole not spirit containment field, but it was the spirit containment field to see if that would block anything out. But it feels like this is more of a natural thing, not a supernatural thing. Yeah. But Rev could maybe try to meditate and see if he feels anything.
Sure. Well, Voldo did roll an 18.
Oh, well, there you go.
On mystical.
Rev rolled a 10, so...
Okay. Voldo
did better.
Voldo starts to kind of like move around. He doesn't have Rand's control. But he starts to kind of move around and tries to like really kind of feel everything around him. He does give you at least the sense that nothing necessarily feels mystical that he's picking up. He tells you that most of the things that you think you're feeling must be natural based. As he kind of reaches out and he's like touching some of the plants live, just seeing if anything kind of gives him anything. And as you're kind of like watching them do that, I need each one of you to roll awareness, if you could, please.
Okay. Oh, God. 4 for me.
4. Sarge?
Oh, man.
8.
I am on fire. 20.
20. Jaina? Sinjin? Okay. Okay. Oh. No. Rev.
Mm-hmm.
You're sitting there watching. You're watching Voldo, waiting for any information that he might give to you.
Yeah.
Doc, you're watching Voldo as well. Sarge, you're watching Voldo again, but you're kind of like sitting on a log. As that happens, immediately you start to hear a commotion in the bushes around, and only you hear is whoop, and you look around, and the Sarge is gone.
Huh.
Oh, God.
As that happens, Rev, you snap around to see what happened, what you heard, and your legs are taken out from underneath you, and now you are being dragged deep into the jungle.
Okay, we're still tied together at the moment too. So
they start to pull everyone now,
dragging us. Yeah, I would like to try to fight it if I can.
You try to do your best to fight it, but as this happens, it's a confusing situation to now be in.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever is dragging you is dragging everybody at this point now. It's extremely powerful. The Sarge, unfortunately, has been severed from the connection and the rope. And so have you now, Rev.
Mm-hmm.
You are being dragged by your feet through the deep, dense part of the jungle. And before you know it, you feel immediately up in the air.
Oh my gosh.
Sarge,
That was one fear about the rope thing.
you were being dragged, and immediately you feel that there's, like Rev, there was some resistance there, some extra weight, and immediately you feel yourself snapped away. And as you're being dragged through, again, the heavy brush, you can feel your head slam against a few rocks. Whatever is pulling you at breakneck, frenetic speed. And immediately, as you feel like you almost want to black out, you feel light, and you're being dragged up into the trees themselves. Doc, the rest of you are now laying there, no longer being dragged because Rev has been severed, as well as the good sergeant. You're able to look up and see and just catch a glimpse as Rev is being drug up by his legs by some sort of arachnid creature up into the trees tops above. You look over and you can see in the other part of the distance the screams of the of the sergeant as he's being dragged up again by some kind of arachnid creature, some kind of black mass up into the trees above. You start to hear loud clicking sounds. And these clicking sounds start to surround you. They feel like they're all around you. Jaina immediately runs directly over to you, Doc, and gets next to you. Sinjin and Voldo and Danny immediately get up, and you're all separated now, probably no more than 10 feet or so in some kind of radius. Voldo immediately starts to run towards Rev. Danny seems to follow as well. Sinjin starts to run recklessly towards the sergeant in almost the opposite direction. What were you going to say?
I was going to say I want to try and yell out for everyone to just try and stay together the best they can. Stay on the path.
As you say that, it falls on deaf ears. Voldo is dead set on going after Rev. Sinjin is dead set on going after the sergeant.
As I'm being pulled up, can I see what's grabbing me? Do I see whether it's a rope, a line, a web, an animal? Do I see anything?
It is some sort of web that is wrapped around your leg.
Okay.
The same for Sergeant, as you are now being pulled up into the canopy above. As that happens, Doc, you start to hear a loud clicking sound behind you. Jaina immediately pulls up her gun and she aims it directly at whatever's behind you. As you turn to see what it is, you see a large black mass start to emerge from behind the leaves. And with that, that's where we will end our season and our session here this evening.
We're in Shelob's lair, right? Where's Samwise Gamgee when you need him?
I want to thank everyone who has hung out with us this evening for the season finale. We do truly appreciate it. Thank you very much for everyone who hangs out and checks out the YouTube. I do truly appreciate it as well. Thank you so much. I want to thank this amazing cast here with, even if we didn't have Mike this evening, I want to thank him as well for just a really, truly amazing season here. We will be back probably around August 7th, August 14th for season 5. We do take around a break of about a month and so. It allows me to kind of like recharge, work on some story elements, and take care of some other things, and it gives a bit of a break for everyone here as well. thank you so much for everyone who hangs out with us this evening. I truly do, from the bottom of my heart, appreciate it, and I thank you so much for any support that you have given. You guys have been wonderful. Season 4 was tremendous. I had a great time. I want to thank so much to Ryan here, who's just been just aces. This guy is amazing. He's an amazing friend, an amazing streamer, and he's been
And the only
here.
person who doesn't get married, apparently.
And the only person who doesn't get married. This is true. that will be something. Who knows?
That'll be the finale of the entire
Ren
entire
gets
series,
married
Ren.
and quits. Truly want to thank him. Thank you so much, sir, for just an amazing season again, as always.
And thank you, Scott, for making this a ton of fun. You do an amazing job.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Of course, as always, in the order I do, I want to thank Mike. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to be here with this evening, and that's okay. He made it to just about every other session, and very, very thankful to him.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for my very good friend here, Richard, who did awesome. And who knew that he's just like, he's a ladies' man. I didn't expect this from Gideon Goldenhammer, but thank you so much, Richard. Looking forward to season 5 with you here, good sir.
Thank you for an awesome season.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, always, a big thanks to my brother from another mother. Dude, I love this dude. We've been best friends for a very long time. The Cat's family, man. The Cat's family, no matter what.
Right.
My main man, Shane, aka the Good Doctor. Thank you so much, good sir.
Thank you, Scotty. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you soon. Hopefully, we can get a grilling session or barbecue session in one of these times, Scotty, here soon.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
with all
just send it here to Texas. I'll join you.
Yeah, absolutely. I will send it out.
I got a giant bag of pellets.
Yeah, I'll definitely come by and pick that up here soon. Again, everybody, we'll probably be back October 7th, October 14th. So definitely put that on your calendars if you definitely want to see this amazing cast here again. Thank you so much, Nietzsche, for being here. Missed most of the episode, but catch you later. Absolutely. Thank you so much for being here. I do appreciate it, Nietzsche. To Burger, to Philly, to Kira, to Renus, to everybody else who has stopped by, to Fire. Thank you so much. We will be streaming here on this channel still, so it's not like nothing's going to happen. Probably going to stream about 2 to 3 times a week, so we'll definitely be playing some other games here. But for the cast of Here on the Waste, we want to thank you so much for a wonderful season. And as always, and until the next time we do see you all, stay safe out there, stay healthy, and keep it safe on the waste, everyone. Good night.